Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time doing another Halloween film review, and this one is on the 1984 film Gremlins. Now, I think we all remember what the film Gremlins were, where a young kid obviously gets a sort of unknown creature known as a Mogwai that obviously leaves a dangerous and hard truth cautionary tale about, being careful of bringing foreign animals and creatures that you don't know from another part of the world that obviously people can't handle. And the premise of the film is meant to follow Billy Poulster, who obviously lives with his mum and dad in a small additional town. And we kind of see how, Billy's dad is meant to be this guy who believes that he can be this gifted inventor, and it's kind of heavily implied that Billy's mum obviously knows that his dad's inventions aren't going to work out too well, so it kind of implies why Billy obviously works at the bank to try and make extra money. And we see how his father gives him the creature, the Mugwai, and of course, there are certain warnings about it that they must follow. And you can tell right away at first the Mugwai doesn't seem too bad. You get the sense him and Billy have a special connection. It's only when the Mugwai gets wet it breeds at a surprising rate, and at first it doesn't seem like a bad thing, but of course this is going to lead to a lot of unnecessary problems that obviously Billy and his parents didn't really think things through. And I think the whole point of the film's message is about the dangers of bringing a foreign animal, a foreign plant, into another part of the world that people can't handle. And even The Simpsons pointed out when Bart brought a bullfrog into Australian soil. And the film has been referenced dozens of times by Family Guy, The Simpsons, also Haunted Hotel, and so forth. And I think the film, at first, knows where it has to build up something sweet and innocent until going wacky and zany with the other multiple copies of Gizmo. And it's kind of clear right away the other copy's leader, Stripe, slowly kind of manipulates and uses ways to kind of make sure they get what they want, leading to a lot of unnecessary problems. And I think the whole point of the film is meant to show the difference also between Mr. Wynn and his grandson. You can tell his grandson wants to kind of keep the family shop still going, but you can tell right away Mr. Wynn knows giving Rand the whole Mugwai thing is a terrible idea. And they do make it clear, well, Mr. Wynn can be wise. There is a bit of arrogance with his wisdom, because, he has rights to scold the family for their negligence and didn't really think of the possible warnings. But I think criticizing Western society for its carelessness with nature is a little out of place. But I think really it does comes down to obviously people and as well as other sort of societies not really thinking through the possible consequences, not really heeding the warnings of others. And sometimes people who come from other societies have to learn things the hard way. They have to see the consequences of their actions. They have to learn what can happen when you don't listen to people's warnings, advice, suggestions, and so forth. I think Gremlins knows it has to be wacky and zany. It knows it has to be something completely different. But I think the film does rely on being too over the top at times, but it also knows where it has to pitch in being realistic. Like, obviously, you kind of got Billy's love interest, Kate, who's kind of this kind of eye candy to Billy, with more truths about her. And you kind of got the town Scrooge, Miss Deagle, who's meant to be a bit of a grump, and there to be a antagonistic foil to Mr. Wynn. But I think the film definitely deserves a thumbs in the middle. It's not the best entry, not the greatest, but it definitely deserves some love and respect for going wacky, over the board, zany, and so forth. So, comic book reviewer here, signing out.